Guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Dr. Stone. We're on season 3, episode 19, which is called Last Man Standing. So considering how we ended the last episode, that is apropos because we see that the petrification beam did go off. Ibarra's plan to petrify the whole island did work to an extent, except for the fact that Senku did manage to, I think it's because, that's right, they stood in a line to protect Senku, because we saw in the flashback of Amaryllis that the reason she didn't get petrified all those years back was because she was not in direct contact with the beam because the body of her friends was in front of her. So that's what they did. They protected Senku, so he ended up surviving the beam, and we see that Ibarra thought that he had won, but instead he discovered that Senku is still alive. So at the moment we see that it's just him and Senku are the only non-petrified people on the island, and the petrification beam is still in play. So now the question becomes how we're going to become the last man standing. I do think, unfortunately, Senku may have to petrify Ibarra just to make sure he doesn't interfere anymore, but we're gonna have to figure out who can win the game of wits. So I'm ready to jump into the episode. Just before I do, though, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop episodes, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you'll be in the know. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. You're way too far away to be saying that, Senku. Unless you're Usain Bolt. I didn't even think of that. That's a good idea, though. Ugh, that's true. Okay, speak faster. Why is it disgusting? Ah, that's the reason for the pose. Here I just thought that she was trying to look cool. All those calculations, you don't have the time to spit them out, sir. Of course, Grandpa is excited to be petrified. I was about to say, Magma's gonna have nothing scientific to contribute, so thank you. What is this Doctor Strange pose we need for math now? Listen, math can be a superpower too, I guess. Okay, I was wrong. I thought it was their bodies that blocked it because we saw that. I mean, she was out of range too, though. Never mind, her hair did get petrified. I was thinking from the Amaryllis story, but yeah, I guess she didn't really. She just got out of range. Okay, revival fluid, it's a race. Okay, so that's why he didn't. Because I was like, he still has his markings. Good job. Yay, maths. Still not gonna learn it. But here's where, unfortunately, Senku was not very smart. Why didn't he go and get the thing from the body? But I guess he didn't want to smash it. Not too hard now. Him and his poor cardio. You really thought that was gonna work, bro? Okay, so he did, because I was like, there is no way that Senku didn't think to grab the beam. Just a bit, you know, just a hobby. Google? Are they allowed to say that? Okay, Senku! It is a sham. I mean, let's not make those assumptions, guys. Because how do they know about the beam? Faster, Senku, for the love of God, please! Why did you go so far? Something's gonna happen. It's never gonna be that good. Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like Ibarra will fight. That little shell was it? Boss fight? Where'd you learn that term? Yeah, you spent way too much time. Thank God for when someone showed that monologuing just wastes time. Coward! Mr. Hiding in the showers and petrifying everybody? You've got a nerve. I was about to say he does have the advantage of knowing that island. How does he know the word geography? Well, again, it's been a great run, guys. 3 seasons is enough. I was about to say it wasn't convincing. You wouldn't be running if that was the case. Again, stop underestimating these people. Thank you, all of you. Oh, wind. That's right. You forgot about that, didn't you? Science. Smart, Senku. Thank God he gets up to speed quickly, huh? If Yushi has no other gifts, it's that. Back to plan A. It wasn't a terrible plan. Senku, kick that man in the... Thank you. Y'all, this is embarrassing. This man is 45. Okay. You should have been. I told you to stop underestimating this man. Yeah, he still put in the command, although it's been more than 5 seconds. Didn't I say it was a test of wit a while ago? He's not wrong about that. People who are very highly intelligent often underestimate people who are, in their minds, less smart. Last man. Where did you learn English, sir? She did. We have time for speeches?
5 meter 1 second.
Don't you dare cry. Not the scream surviving the petrification. Good job, Senku. That was not an easy battle. That was actually a battle on your playground up here. But he was right about, like I said, science users do, not science users, like people who are very intellectually smart tend to underestimate people who aren't, or at least to their knowledge, that aren't. However, Ibarra was very arrogant. He was very arrogant. So that worked to Senku's favor. Senku is very smart. Senku can sometimes be a little condescending, but he's not arrogant. He very much recognizes there are strengths that are different than his own. Now he's got to figure out if there's a way to potentially reverse all of this, because so many people suffered for this. Again. The monkeys. I don't think he's down for it this time. The first time it was what it was, but I don't think he's gonna like it very much right now. Oh my God! Hello. Nugu? Don't want to talk about it. Okay, bye. That's right. You're not alone. That's right. You got friends. You got fam. Now you just got to get to work, get that revival juice going, because you've got a lot of reviving to do. At the bare minimum, you need to get back the people that are going to help you do what you have to do. So, all right, guys. Well, that was Last Man Standing, and Last Man Standing indeed. As I said, this is probably Senku's most terrifying battle to date, because even when he was going up against Tsukasa, that was never like, Tsukasa was someone who definitely was not an idiot either. Like, he wasn't necessarily as knowledgeable as Senku about all things science, but he was very smart and he understood the way Senku thought. So he was a formidable opponent. But I feel like this one was a lot more so, right? This was very much in Senku's wheelhouse as far as being a true battle, because we know like Senku's not a physical fighter. He doesn't have that advantage. I will say I didn't think Ibarra did either, but you know, that's what I get for making prejudgments, right? Turns out the man used to be a warrior, so he knows how to fight. He's clearly been keeping himself in shape. And next to Senku, as I said, who unfortunately doesn't do too much in the way of staying strong in that way, he was no match for him physically. But digressing, we see that this was a war of the wits. And I love that Ibarra used the word sly to describe himself, because that's exactly what he is. He's very sly. He's always thinking of another angle. He's looking at a corner to cut, something to slide under, the cracks to go through. Like, that's the way his brain works, and he's clearly very good at it. Like, in our world, he would definitely work as like either someone who works in the underworld or works as like CIA level spy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of brain he has. And as I mentioned before, Senku's brain doesn't work like that. Senku is very smart, he's very intelligent, but he uses all that for, the purpose of advancement and scientific growth. Like, he's not thinking of ways to get one over on somebody else, right? If he really has to think about, trapping someone or using deceit, it's usually just because he needs to get to something and that person might be in the way. But he's never about hurting people. He never wants to go to that extreme. But with the case with Ibarra, he almost had to go to that place because Ibarra was ruthless. We saw he had no conscience whatsoever about taking out as many people as possible to ensure that he maintained whatever level of control he feels that he needed. And I feel like he wouldn't have gone with the petrification if he didn't have the people on the boat, because he's not the kind of man that can survive alone. Like, he needs people to lord himself over. But we see that he was still willing to sacrifice a good chunk of the people there just so he could continue to have this power, which is dumb, because I'm like, bro, you're gonna die someday anyway, right? Like, what's the point of all this? You'll have this beam until when? Until you drop dead and there's no one else around you. Like, that's where he's a bit short-sighted in this whole, king of the castle megalomaniac thing. But either way, he was very smart and he was very sly, and he definitely gave Senku a run for his money. And a lot of the things that Senku assumed about him turned out to be false, including right up to thinking he'd be able to, get the beam tossed back at him, underestimating his strength, a lot of things. And so, he brought out a valid point, which I mentioned in the reaction, which is that sometimes people who are very intelligent, book smart, they underestimate people who don't necessarily tick the same intelligence boxes. And that's never something anyone should do. You should never underestimate people's intelligence. Not all knowledge is book knowledge. Not all knowledge is scientific knowledge. There's so many different areas in the world and so many different areas in life that you can become very smart at that can't be measured in school or can't be measured in classes or degrees. And so you should definitely never underestimate people or think that they're beneath you because they may not know what you know. Because in this case, Ibarra, like, if he wasn't such an ass, he could be such a helpful person in so many ways. Like, that cautious vibe that he has, the plans within plans, the way that he works, those are things that could definitely be helpful to this group of youngsters. But, unfortunately, he's using it all for his own benefit. So, he had to go. And again, he's not gone. He's petrified for now, but I think it's going to be safe for the foreseeable future to leave him like that. Let's be 100. Ibarra is a problem. Ibarra is dangerous. And if they unpetrify him anytime soon, he's absolutely going to do nothing but think of ways to get back at that petrification beam and take out the people who, got him in that position in the first place. So, as much as I know that Senku didn't want it to be that way, he wanted to make sure he could rescue everyone. He's the kind of statue that will probably have to stay as he is until they can get correctional facilities and the like back into when those come back, then maybe we can think about releasing Ibarra, but for now, he's probably safest where he is. There is a question, though, whether or not he's going to revive Hyoga and Maz, though, because they both assumed they were going to be left because they were so problematic as far as their strength. But I don't know. If Senku revives them, it could be a good faith gesture, or goodwill gesture, made in good faith. And maybe they'll take that for the right reasons. But anyway, thankfully, we finally have the beam back. And now Senku, again, we see that he had a flashback to back in season 1 when he woke up by himself and felt like he was going to be alone for God knows how long. And I think they said it was almost a year he was alone before he was able to wake up Taiju. So, they didn't talk about it too much in the show, but, it's been proven that being alone for too long is not healthy for humans. In fact, it's something that can lead to all kinds of mental and emotional issues. So I can understand why Senku got very scared for a moment there at the idea of being completely alone again. But then he got that phone call that reminded him that no, you're not alone. It's different this time. You've got all of Ishigami Village is still still, well, not all, but the vast majority of them are still there. They're still available. You can get back to them, and you have the ability to make more revival fluids, so you can definitely bring back the people on the island. It's just going to take a minute. So yeah, that was good. Very good battle. As I said, Senku's biggest battle to date, but it definitely gave him some very good lessons going forward on how to handle things when they continue on this voyage, if they get to continue on this voyage to South America that they were planning. But I mean, now that they have the petrification beam, I think that Senku's going to be a little obsessed with that and figuring out if there's a way to potentially reverse what happened. Because imagine, instead of having to, revive people one by one, if he could somehow reverse the beam and just revive everyone, right? So anyway, another good episode. I enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I will see you in the next one.